Good day, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. What time is it? No, it's not howdy doody time. It is mail time. Stay tuned. Well, this episode of Mail Time, we got a couple, actually a letter and a card, and actually two letters and a card. One letter from outside of the United States. Hey. Then we have a two-part package, a two-part internet care package. But before we get into it, I wanted to just briefly go outside and let's check on the weather, shall we? Yes, reporting from outside in northeast Albuquerque. This is Joe, the weather guy. It is approximately 7:30 p.m., 19:30 for you military people in Albuquerque on the 28th of June, 2021. The temperature is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, the desert Southwest is not all hot. We have a beautiful cloudy day with just a little bit of rain from the start of our monsoons. 65 degrees Fahrenheit, folks. It's going to be lovely sleeping tonight. Back to you in the studio. Well, our first item here is a nifty postcard. Let's see if we can get this camera to focus on it. Isn't that cool? Photograph typing on a Royal 10, probably. A nice, blurry, extended shutter speed kind of effect. I really like that. That's very unusual. So this card is from Ervin in Montrose, California. And it's postmarked from Santa Clarita, California, 17th of June. It's a Genji Yi photo. Not sure who that is. Anyway, Union Depot postmark. Pretty cool. Addressed to me, of course. This is in celebration of National Typewriter Day. It's the 1868 Christopher Sholes Patents, first commercially marketed typewriter. And of course, he goes on to say that I much enjoy your YouTube videos, and he thanks me. And he says, I type everything. Well, that's wonderful, Ervin. And I really love this picture especially. Very cool. Thank you. Well, our next letter is from my buddy Mitch Farley back in Ohio. It's always great to get a letter from Mitch. I wrote him a while back, and I'm glad he returned the favor. So he postmarked it 18th of June, or at least the post office did, and I got it on the 22nd of June, so not too bad. I try to stamp the envelopes when I receive them, just as a way of keeping track. Okay, this is typed really nicely on some really good, it feels like Southworth kind of resume paper. Nice and textured, very cool. Mitch goes on to talk about, he's been thinking about me for a while, watching my videos on YouTube, and talking about the situation with the lockdown last year. And he was very much enjoying my downsizing of my typewriter collection process, where in the process of downsizing, of course, I end up getting a couple extra machines, notably the Royal KMM and the Optimus Super. And he goes on to say that he used to have an Olympia SM9 that he was looking at the type sample on it, and it's rather similar to the Optimus type sample, his SM9. And of course, he talks about how much he admires the Royal KMM, and he wishes that he could experience what it's like to write on a machine that's been properly set up by an expert typewriter mechanic such as John Lewis, who serviced both of those typewriters of mine. And he's indicating that here he's playing around with some photography again, and he had acquired a lens from me. I sent him a 55mm SMC Tacumar f1.8 lens. He's been using that on his Sony a6000 mirrorless camera. And then he talks about our long-standing tape recorder project where we were sending tape recorded letters back and forth, and we kind of quit doing that, and we need to get back into it. I'm definitely going to be doing it. Well, along with his nicely typed letter, we have a little handwritten note, and this was written with a 1946 Schaefer Valiant oversized Triumph fountain pen with Mont Blanc black ink, and he just talks about he was using his Instax SP2 printer with his Sony a6000 camera and that Tacumar lens that I gave him to make some photographs. So this is a cool printer because this is printing on the Fuji Instax instant film camera technology. Well, here's a good shot of Mitch, and he goes on to say that the background on this print is the Japanese wedding kimono, which really does make a great background, by the way. And then, let's go to this one here. This is a 1938 Hermes featherweight typewriter. That's the, I guess, the predecessor to the Hermes Rocket and Baby. Very cool shot there. I like that. And then, of course, this is a little close-up detail, really showing the excellent bokeh of that Takumar lens on the Sony camera. Really cool shots, Mitch. I really like that SP2 printer, actually. I might have to think about getting one of these. But anyways, I really appreciate the photos, Mitch, and the letter. And you have some really nice handwriting here, I gotta say. And this paper feels like rhodia paper, maybe. It's a good fountain pen paper and a nice handwriting, nice script and everything. So thank you very much, Mitch. I really appreciate it. Okay, our next letter is addressed to me, and it's from Saul. Brian in Australia. Yes, that's right. This letter traveled many thousands of miles. So yes, this is a nice kind of warm-colored paper. So he is writing this on his Remington International, but he calls it a Remington because the N at the end of the logo has snapped off on his typewriter, and he says this is one of the largest and most worn machines in his collection. It was used by the Australian government, apparently. He was talking about the E key is worn down, and the 6 key is. He figures they must have been using it for underscores, because they probably weren't typing the number 6 all that much, unless they were typing, you know, the number that we can't repeat. Anyways, also fingernail marks on the tops of the keys, which is kind of cool. He talks about you can see the effect of the use of the typewriter, which is really cool. He goes on to talk about his approach to typing letters and doing corrections is he doesn't mind doing strike-throughs. And you know what? I really appreciate people who can get away with doing strike-through corrections because it really makes the writing process flow much better. I need to learn to do that. I need to have less of a hang-up about it. He goes on to thank me for the videos I've done and about his typewriter journey. He talks about he currently has 16 machines, but in total over the years he's bought 20, he's given away 2 and sold 2. He uses a spreadsheet to keep track of his typewriters, their type style and color and everything. But on the back on page 2, that's right, we have a list of all the typewriters. And so letter 32, he's 2 of these, Olivetti Letter 32 DL, a Royalite 110, a Hermes 2000, an Olympia SM3, 2 Hermes Babies, and an Empire Aristocrats, Smith Corona Silent Super, Remington Quiet Rider, Hermes 3000, Olympia SM2, the Remington International, a Remington Noiseless Portable, a Royal KHM, a Smith Corona SX660, which is a Type R electric. And he was saying if I was to write a book, that would be the one typewriter he would definitely consider. It's nice to hear from people and their own, typewriter journey. He says, stay healthy and creative. Saul, thank you very much. I appreciate these letters, and it's really fun getting a letter like this, well written from across the globe. Thank you very much, Saul. Well, this next care package is actually 2 packages, and it's from Joshua Stringer from Austin, Texas, here in the USA. We're going to start with this first one. It actually has a Kmart sticker, and it's written $13.47. And you might be able to tell from this really cool 1970s artwork that this is a camera. It's the Polaroid Swinger. Yes, that's right. The Polaroid Swinger. Look at the artwork. And it looks like at one time it was $16.88 from Kmart. I really like the brown wrapping paper. It's just kind of cool. I just like that kind of stuff. It reminds me when I was a kid and we used a lot of brown paper. Yes, I remember when I was a kid. I'm not that old. I am actually that old. Let's look in the bottom here. There is some goodies in the bottom of this box. Let's see here. There are a few goodies. Okay, so this is a Polaroid Swinger, and it has an optical viewfinder that you look through here like a little tunnel, and there is a shutter button, Okay, so the flash bulbs go down into this little recessed chamber right here, and this diffuser is for the flash bulbs, and then there is an eject lever right here. You can eject the flash bulb. You push this lever up and shake the bulb out and go upside down. There is a light meter kind of a system in this little window right above the lens, and what's interesting about this is there's a red window below the viewfinder, and you squeeze the red shutter knob, and then you turn it, and you're going to see the word yes show up on this red checkerboard grid in the viewfinder if you get the exposure pretty close to being right. There is a box of flash bulb, and they come in a little plastic holder, and this might be a live flash bulb, meaning if you get some static electricity across the prongs of it, it might just go off. So, yeah, those things are pretty cool. Then there is a locking lever on the back here, and you flip it like that, and you open it up, and this used a really small packs of teal-apart film, and it uses these special spools. You put the film pack down in here and run it across the rollers onto the take-up spool here, and then you close it down like that and lock it up like that, and then the prints would come out. The tail end of the print would come out of here, and you'd pull it out after you made your exposure. It's a really cool camera. Unfortunately, because of the way these cameras are, it's really kind of difficult to use them for, paper negatives or anything like that. But that's not going to necessarily stop me from trying. There's a variable f-stop. And that's how the exposure is varied with the variable f-stop, and the shutter speed is probably a constant shutter speed. And I should also mention, of course, we have some flash bulbs here. I think at least one of them is probably live. But we also have the Polaroid warranty registration card, which, it's no postage necessary if mailed in the U.S. And I wonder if this first-class permit is still valid. Interesting. So this is also a Polaroid copy service. So if you send your Polaroid prints in here, they will print copies for you, right? That was a little thing they were doing to get copies and enlargements made, which were 2 for 20 cents, 15 cents a piece, 2 for 15. Pretty inexpensive. You could get 8x10s done for $3 a piece, which is actually pretty inexpensive. And then there's a 50% discount offer on Polaroid copy service. So they were really trying to push the copy service here. So this right here is a real quick instructional guide in various languages on how to load the film. And then, of course, the little instruction guide, meet the swinger, the camera, not the model, of course, right? Model 20. And I love these old instruction manuals from back in this era. They're just so cool, right? And is there a date on here? It looks like August of 1966 is when this was printed. So mid-1960s. Really cool camera. I really appreciate it. But wait, there's more. Yes, there's a second box. Indeed. Okay, well, the first thing we have here is a very nifty cap. One of these classic caps. I don't have one quite this shape, and it's adjustable with buckles on both sides, and I'm going to have to wear this later, definitely. Okay, well, Joshua sends me a nice letter. So this is a little package of office supply stuff, right? So he sent me a pack of memo pads, and they're in the bottom here. Let's see if I can find them. These are Japanese brand plain memo pads right here, which are kind of cool, right? There's 3 of those, right? And then another memo pad right here, right, which is kind of real smooth paper. And this particular spiral-bound notebook has the tear-out pages, so they're perforated. They remove really easy. Okay, so then we have a pack of Tomoe River paper. He says the greatest fantastic fountain pen paper known to man. Ooh, it is so creamy. I'm going to have to maybe do a review of this and how well it works with my fountain pens, but I'm really excited about it. And it has a nifty cream color. You can kind of see the difference in tone between that and the white envelope, but it's so smooth and it has a weight to it also. Very, very excited about that. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay, first of all, we have some nifty Bic Crystal ballpoint pens in the blue, and these are cool. They're standard Bic ballpoints, which I really think are one of the best quality ballpoints around. And of course, Bic has been making these ballpoints from the very beginning of their history, so there's a lot to say about a cheap Bic pen. They write so well. Well, then we also have some Pilot G2 in the .7 style size nib in red ink. Pilot G2 red ink pens. These are going to be so cool for doing corrections and other special things where you need a red ink pen. You know, I have a red ballpoint, kind of a stick pen like one of these, but I'm looking forward to how the gel pens write in red. Really excited about that. This is a Fountain Pen Revolution Guru pen. It's a piston filler with a flex nib, and he sanded down into this torpedo shape. It has a screw-off cap. It is a piston filler, and so as you can see, I've twisted the rear of the pen, and now if I twist it this way, it will draw the piston back and fill it up with ink if it was dipped into some ink. Yes, this is called an EPR flex nib. Excited to try this. I've heard about these, and you know, the packaging, it's just a humble plastic bodied fountain pen, but I'm really thinking this is going to be a good writer. I'm really interested in this. And then the paper itself that he wrote the note on is the Japanese brand of plain paper, I think from this notebook here. And the pen was a Narwhal Shoikel Parpita with a FPR fine nib, and it was Iroshizuki Tsukyo, which is blue-black fountain pen ink. I really like the look of the blue-black. I think I actually have some of that. Yeah, nice handwriting. I like your signature, and really nice paper there. Oh, but wait, there's not all. I looked in the box. I missed something. This is really cool. This is Tennessee Red. These are Musgrave Pencil Company pencils. Shelbyville, Tennessee, yes. So these pencils are made from Tennessee red cedar wood. The Musgrave Pencil Company. These are really nice looking pencils. So I have a number of those with white erasers, right, and sort of brass-colored ferrules. And then there is another pencil here that is a 600 Musgrave Pencil Company Incorporated News. So this looks like it may be the kind of pencil you might, if you were a newspaper person, you'd be marking things up with it or whatever. But really like that. And I like, of course, the little slipcase box. Really nice styling. Well, what can you say? Got some really good wood case pencils. I have some of the best fountain pen and typing paper in the world right here, Tomoe River. I have a nice letter. I have a really interesting fountain pen I'm really aching to try. We have some really classic ballpoint pens, probably some of the best inexpensive ballpoint pens around, and these Pilot G2s in red. Definitely looking forward to trying these out in my sketch journals, and I'm going to have to give one of these to my friend Ethan because he also is madly in love with the idea of sketching, and I know he does multiple colors, so I'm going to give him one of these to try out. And of course, a Polaroid Swinger camera kit. You can't go wrong with internet friends like this. What a great blessing this was. And of course, yeah, we don't want to forget the Japanese notebooks. How cool is that? So we got a nice postcard from Ervin from California, a really cool letter from Saul from Australia, another cool letter with some photos from Mitch Farley from Ohio, and of course a big care package from Joshua from Austin, Texas. And I always love going through mail time, even if there isn't internet care packages. Oh, look at the cool hat. What do you guys think, huh? All right. I really appreciate you guys sending me little things. Just a card or a letter means a lot to me. I'll put an address down below that you guys can write me to. And stay well, stay creative, and until next time, have yourselves a great day. Bye-bye for now.